Welcome to January 12 Current Affairs. Today we will be discussing with 6 topics. Our first topic for today's discussion is about crocodile species in India. Now, recently why the crocodile species has been in news was due to the fact that there has been the annual enumeration by the Forest Department at the Ghodahada Reservoir and its adjoining ponds in the Ganjam district of Odisha. So there has been this sort of an enumeration by the Forest Department in Odisha, and it has been found out that from that particular area around 45 mugger crocodiles have been found out. Now let us have a look at the major crocodile species in India. Mainly we have 3 major crocodile species in India. The first major species is saltwater crocodile. It is mainly seen in the coastal areas of Odisha, West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. Now the peculiarity of this particular crocodile is that this has the broadest distribution of any modern crocodile. Means you can see it in a wide range of areas. From the eastern coast of India, you can see this in almost all parts of Southeast Asia and even on northern Australia. And these saltwater crocodiles, they are apex predators and they are classified as least concern in the IUCN Red List. Then our second major species of crocodile is the mugger crocodile, and basically this is a medium-sized crocodile. It mostly inhabits freshwater lakes, ponds, sluggish rivers and all. And this particular mugger crocodile basically is found throughout the Indian subcontinent, and it has been classified as vulnerable under the IUCN Red List. Then our third category is a critically endangered crocodile species, which is the gharial crocodile. This is the longest and rarest crocodile, and mainly the major population of this particular crocodile remain in 3 tributaries of the Ganges river, in Chambal and Girwa rivers in India, as well as the Rapti Narayani river in Nepal. So these gharial crocodiles, they are mainly seen in 3 tributaries of the Ganges river. Now in India, gharial crocodile is mainly seen in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Now our second topic of discussion for today is with respect to the UN official languages. Currently, how many official languages does the UN have? The UN has 6 official languages, and they are Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian and Spanish. So we have 4 languages from the 4 permanent members of the UN Security Council, namely English, French, Russian and Chinese. Then you have Arabic and Spanish, as it is spoken by a lot of different countries, or it is accepted as official languages in different countries. Now why this was in the news was due to the fact that the Union government is trying to push Hindi as an official language in the United Nations. Now let us have a look at how we can make a language as an official language in the United Nations. Basically, in order to have that sort of a status, we need 2/3 support of the UN member states. Then, as stipulated by the UN rules, members also will have to share the expenditure. Even though if India could get around like 129 members of the 193 UN member states to support Hindi as an official language of the United Nations, but getting these member states to share the expenditure on making Hindi an official language of the UN will be really difficult for India. And the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has indicated that the government is even ready to spend as much as 400 crores on making Hindi as an official language of the United Nations, while some of the other politicians in India has deemed or described it as a futile exercise, as this will be severely affecting India's status as a multilingual nation, or the multilingual character of the nation might be affected. That there has been severe debates and other controversies with respect to the Indian government trying to push Hindi as an official language of the United Nations. Our next topic of discussion will be about National Archives of India. Now recently, why this was in the news was due to the fact that the Minister of State for Culture recently inaugurated an exhibition called India at 70, the Jammu and Kashmir Saga exhibition. This exhibition is basically an exhibition on the 70 years of accession of Jammu and Kashmir as a state in India. And this particular exhibition, it was curated, or it was organized by the National Archives of India of the Ministry of Culture. Now let us have a look at some important facts with respect to this National Archives of India. Basically, it's a custodian of the records of enduring value of Government of India. Now this particular National Archives of India, it has a long history. It was established way back in 1891 at Kolkata as the Imperial Record Department, and it is also the biggest archival repository in all of South Asia, and it has a wide variety of records like public records, private papers, oriental records, cartographic records, and even microfilms. Now our fourth topic is with respect to the 4th International Dharma Dhamma Conference. Now this has become really important recently. This 4th International Dharma Dhamma Conference was conducted on state and social order, and it was held at Rajgir in Nalanda district of Bihar. And this particular Dharma Dhamma Conference, it was organized by the Nalanda University under the aegis of the MEA or the Ministry of External Affairs, ASEAN-India Dialogue Partnership and India Foundation. So you can see that there is obviously a foreign policy angle or an international relations angle to this particular Dharma Dhamma conference. Now this particular conference, it was inaugurated by the Honorable President, and at that conference he has said that Buddhism has been a basis for an early form of globalization, and Buddhism has been a major reason for the interconnectedness of the Asian continent. And here we have to see that Buddhism has a lot of importance when it comes to the international relations of our country. Basically, even India's relationship with other Asian countries like China, Japan, and especially with the Southeast Asian nations, they have been anchored by the Buddhism factor. Especially India's relationship with the ASEAN countries has been tremendously influenced by the Buddhism factor, and that has been one of the key reasons why we launched the Look East policy way back in 1991, even a decade before we launched the Look West policy. So we have this sort of cultural ties with the Southeast Asian nations due to the Buddhism factor, and India even has a particular organization called the Mekong Ganga Cooperation in order to take this cultural ties to the next level. And this particular Dharma Dhamma conference has to be seen from that particular background. And another importance of this Dharma Dhamma conference at this particular time period is that basically right now we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of dialogue partnership between India and ASEAN, and in the 2018 Republic Day celebrations, the chief guests will be leaders from the ASEAN countries. Our next topic is about Leeds Index. Now Leeds Index, it stands for Logistics Ease Across Different States. So it's an index which stands for Logistics Ease Across Different States. Now this particular index, it is being developed by the Commerce and Industry Ministry along with the Deloitte. This Logistics Ease Across Different States, it is based on several indicators such as infrastructure, services, safety of cargo, timeliness, then track and trace, etc. Now recently this index was released, or the Leeds Index was released, and that index was topped by Gujarat according to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. It is closely followed by Punjab and Andhra Pradesh. Now our last topic of discussion for today is about Sphurti. Sphurti, it is basically a smart freight operation and optimization and real-time information mechanism that was recently launched by the Ministry of Railways. And what do we mean by Sphurti? Basically Sphurti, simply speaking, it's an app for freight managers. Now this will help these freight managers in order to monitor as well as manage the freight business. And how can we do this kind of monitoring and tracking of this freight business? This will be done by using Geographic Information Systems or GIS. So remember this GIS part, it is the most important part about Sphurti. So Sphurti will be implemented by using the Geographic Information Systems. Now in addition to tracking this freight business, Sphurti can also track both the passenger and freight trains over zones, divisions or sections. That's all about today's daily current affairs. In order to get a detailed analysis on today's daily current affairs topics, you can download our daily current affairs material. In order to have a more detailed idea about the official languages of the United Nations and working and other mechanisms of the UN, as well as other principal organs of the United Nations, you can watch the earlier videos released by Ekam IAS on United Nations.